guys, welcome to another episode of AMD Garage. I'm Bryan Harrison. As you can see today, we're talking about square body parts once again. In the last video, we talked to you about the square body build coming up that we're going to be showcasing here on AMD Garage. Well, a lot of that requires new parts from AMD, and those parts have to be dyed. That's one of the questions we get asked a lot on social media. Well, I buy my parts, I get ready to put them in, but I'm just not that good at painting or hadn't had a lot of experience with it. We're going to show you simple, easy steps where you at home in your garage can get the results that we get on the trucks in the shop just by going out and getting the right product, using the right process, and using good quality parts from AMD. You can get the look you're looking for. We've got the brand new AMD Premium Dash Pad. These things fit, go in the truck. You don't have to do a bunch of work to them. You take it out of the box, you dye it, you put it in the truck. Very little trimming, very little fitment. When we did the giveaway truck a couple years back, we actually dyed the pad and put it straight in the truck with no modification. But one of the things about doing dash pads used to always frustrate me. You got ready to do the dash pad and you had to deal with these little defroster vents. They're thin, they get brittle, because let's face it, they're right where they don't need to be in the sun for 20, 30 years, 40 years, they just get trashed. Well, now AMD's got you covered on these as well. When you order the dash pad, you can also order it with these with it. You're going to dye these up at the same time. You're going to get a good fit and a good match. Plus, that's a great time all the dash pads out to address your gauge bezel if you got anything going on with that. And they've got all different ones. This is the black faced one. They have the brush faced. A lot of different ones, a lot of different year models for those. You also may want to grab the vents and the dash trim panel as well. All of that's available, and we'll be showcasing that when we install this in the truck. Then our truck, like I said in the video before, it's an 8-lug, so it's really high off the ground. The people we got it from apparently been using the A-pillar like a handle, and they just trashed it. We used to have to grab these at the swap meet too, or you had to hope and pray that yours cleaned up or they weren't delaminating or whatever. Well, AMD's got that for you too. You can grab these straight out of the pack, clean them up, prep them with the process I'm about to show you right here. Using good product, you're going to get a good result just like we get in the shop with very minimal time. It's going to be very minimal equipment or anything you need. You guys that are working, a one bay garage at a condo to a 10 bay garage at your house, you're going to use the same result, same process. So what I like to use to dye this stuff, some people call it dye, some call it a coating. But I use Sim products called Color Coat. They've got all the colors. You can go online, you can actually look at the color chart, and you can request one to be sent to you, and you'll actually have a chip chart in front of you. But we always try to use Sim products when we can. We're using their Bluebird Brown for the dash pad in the Suburban. It's not quite as dark as what it called for, but it's just a color that I like better. But before we do any of that, we're going to show you the process of washing, prepping, getting everything clean, everything dust-free, how to go about this so you don't end up with a mess on your hands. Then we're going to apply a product called Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. It's not a step that's covered in every process. Every brand don't say use Adhesion Promoter, but what I can tell you, if you get this stuff installed at my shop, this is what we do, and it happens without fail. We don't have flakes of it coming back off or fish eyes or odd textures or anything like that. So we're going to go through the process of washing, getting ready to go, application of the Bulldog, application of the colors, and then we're going to have finished product ready to go in the truck that we'll just bag up and have done ready, so when we do the video showing you the interior, we can move forward from there. So we're getting ready to start the process on the A-pillar trims. Like I said before, cleanliness is key. It needs to be the most important thing you're thinking about right now, because if it's not, this process will not work very well, and it's not going to be as durable down the road ahead. So what you want to do first, wash these things, hot water and Dawn, take them to the shop sink, get a bucket, but make sure the brush that you use on them, don't go use the same thing you've been scrubbing greasy car parts with. Get a good clean brush that you use just for that. That way there's no contamination, no fish eyes, no weird stuff like that going on. And then once you get to that part, what I like to do is take a rag with a little bit of 3M adhesive remover and then just wipe them down and let it dry, and then we'll go with the next step. Cleanliness needs to be the most important thing you're thinking about with this right now. No contaminants, no dust, none of that, because the cleaner you get this right now, the better results you're going to get. No fish eyes, none of that going on. Plus, down the road, it's going to stay on there and it's not going to release and be trying to lift and all that stuff. What we like to do, take them over to the shop sink, hot water with Dawn and a toothbrush, and use a brush that you've not been scrubbing greasy parts with or anything like that. Certainly nothing's been on wheels, tire foam. Stay away from all that stuff when you get ready to paint these things. But I like to wash them, get them dry, Then I just take a rag and spray it down with some 3M adhesive remover just as a secondary, just be sure it's all gone. Process we're talking about today is us doing a set of new panels straight out of the box from AMD. But let's say you're a watcher of the channel, you say I don't really need new panels, but I like the idea of redying my own. I want to use my original GM stuff. Same process, but the exception is if they've been wiped with any kind of an interior protectant, a silicone, any of that, and let's face it, that truck's got some age on it, you're never going to know until you spray the dye, and then it's going to be obvious. So the other thing I like to do if they're used, take them to the sink and wash them like we talked about. Make sure and wash the front as well as the back, because what happens, you wash the front and you think, well, I'm not painting the back. You're going to touch the back at some point and it's going to be a problem. So just wash the whole thing. Little OCD goes a long way here. Then we take a Scotch-Brite and Dawn, and don't just sand them or try to remove that texture, but get them clean. The other thing about that, it's going to show you if you've got any delamination like the old parts could do, where the top starts to lift, and let's say maybe it's not doing it yet, but if it's about to, the Scotch-Brite will show you that, and if it's not too bad, you can smooth it up, or you can just order brand new from AMD. The next step of this process, good, clean, fresh tack rag. Not one that's been laying around the shop collecting who knows what for 6 months. Go ahead, they're $2 at Lowe's, Menards, wherever you go to buy body shop supplies even. Wherever you can find these, they're going to be dirt cheap. Use a good fresh one because you don't want to have to repeat this. This is a slow process. You don't want to have to repeat it. Once you take this thing out, don't get crazy and aggressive with it. You just got to rub around on it just a little bit. And this is because you've been around it with it. You've had a microfiber or whatever you've wiped the prep on with and all that stuff like that. So, you know, you don't want to get this job done, sit down in the truck, you're looking up there at it, and the first thing you see is a piece of a bug or a hair or something like that in it. So just go on it. Doesn't take a lot to make sure it's good and clean. And this process is not for somebody, if you're looking to do a job 30 minutes and you're done and you need that instant gratification, it's killer and you're happy, this ain't the job. Slow's going to win the race here, and it's going to look better, and it's going to have a better result. So just take your time and do the steps we're outlining. So just to recap, number 1, hot water and Dawn, scrub it with a brush, get it dry. Number 2, 3M adhesive remover and a microfiber cloth, let it dry. Tack rag, clean, fresh tack rag. Once you complete those steps, then you're ready to get down to spraying material. So next step of the process, Bulldog adhesion promoter. This stuff is like spraying alcohol. It's super thin. It doesn't take much. This is not like painting. You don't need to worry about your texture. For one, the part's grainy anyway. It's not going to look like it's covering, but trust the process. Let it slow down, do its thing. It's going to level out. When you spray this black part, it's going to go from looking satin to looking somewhat glossy. Give it 10, 15 minutes, let it dry. Go somewhere inconspicuous on it. Go up here like where the part overlaps with the metal going across the windshield or something where you can touch it and not be seen. If it doesn't come off on your finger, it's ready to go, but it's never going to feel exactly dry. This is meant to bridge the gap between the plastics and the dye, color coat, whatever you prefer to call it. This is a critical thing. Every piece in this shop that gets sprayed with dye, new or old, gets this before we put the dye on. And we don't have failures here. It stays on like it's supposed to. Shake this stuff up good. And like I said, light coats. Make sure and get down low. Arrange your part to where you can get down and get all the edges. Because those edges take a beating on this part. And if it looks like that after you spray, you've got enough. If it starts to fill in the grains and start to look too wet, don't worry about it. This stuff will dry down, it'll suck in tight, you'll get your grain back. But that's when you better quit, because if you run this stuff, it's got to all be taken off, or you're always going to have that run in progressive coats. So that's all it really takes, is just that right there. It's just got to get it, pretty much just got to get it wet. And I mean, this, like I said, is about like spraying alcohol. It'll run on you quick and give you a bad result. You know, you can take this stuff, all the auto body shops, they'll mix you up whatever kind of interior color that you might like. That's great. If you want to go to the booth, you want to get a gun out, you want to do all that, that's another way of doing it. What we're covering for you today is the way the average guy with just very small amount of stuff can complete this and get all your colors consistent across the inside of the truck. Because guess what? AMD's got door panels, all the trim, kick panels. Maybe you want your dash pad and everything the same color all through the truck. You don't want to do the multi-colors of red or multi-colors of blue-gray like GM did it. Sky is literally the limit. You can pick whatever you want. You want a bright red hot rod color, whatever you want to do, this process is going to work to get you consistent across all your new parts. So what I like to do, set a timer, 10 minutes. Timer goes off 10 minutes, come over, and like I said, go where it's going to overlap. It's not going to be a problem if it's a little wet and you touch it, and make sure it's dry. When you figure out that it is, let it have a little extra time while you shake this product properly. Round and round at the bottom, get it stirred up. It's been sitting for a while, up and down. Do that a few times and really make sure the product is mixed up right and doing what it's supposed to do. Just like all the stuff we're using here, look at your manufacturer's directions. Make sure you're using the product the way they say it. This is how I do it. My way is not the only way to do anything. It's a way, but it's a way that works and it's a way that stays on it. But like I said, be sure and get your dye shook up really good, because if it's not, it's going to give you problems trying to spray. You just want to keep building up coats without getting too crazy and making it run or anything like that. And what you'll find, you're going to see the black through this right up till it hits that little sweet spot when it all covers, and then it's when it dries down, it's going to have that color. But one thing I want to tell you, unless you've got an elaborate way of holding these where you're going to get all the sides very well, this stuff blends pretty well. So if you spray from another direction after it dries, it's all going to dry down. You're not going to be able to tell. So I try to get the edges that I can. And then for that last little bit that you're going to see first, when you sit in the truck, turn those things up and really lay it to that side, because that's where everybody's hand goes, all that stuff. So you want to do that as the last part. But like I said, the rest of this thing is pretty much good to go. It's covered. It's drying down. Most of us have been in and out of our trucks. We recognize what the color is. We recognize it. It's our color. And when you know it's to that point, then you want to finish those edges and you're good to go. So now we're going to move on to the dash pad. Similar process, a few little things are different. Here again, if you've got your own dash pad, you're looking to do a process to it, that's going to be up to you to decide what's been put on those things for years. Everything from baby oil to tire foam, anything with silicones, trust me, it's going to be a disaster. In the long run, for the time you're going to lose, you're better off to grab one of these, because I'll be honest with you, I would just as soon have one of these as a GM dash pad. They really fit good. The vents, same process as the A-pillars. Wash them, Dawn, hot water and a brush, let them dry, 3M process, tack rag, we're good to go. We've done that. The dash pad, however, it's not really that good of an idea to get after it with a water hose and all that stuff. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is, every one of them is going to have this instruction slip with them telling you how to do it. They call for naphtha. I always just use acetone. But it's the thing is, you want to remember, don't go spraying this all over the pad and letting it just cook into the vinyl. Put it on a rag, wipe it, and you should almost see the tracks drying behind you as you go along. Once you get to the point that you think it's clean, and you'll see when you open it up, it's going to have little fingerprints and dots of this stuff on it. I've already cleaned this one for filming. You're going to clean it again until all of that's gone. Once you notice all that's gone, I'm going to show you how to take a piece of tape and verify that it's clean, and you'll know that you're ready to go and that you're good to go. Now this thing, the cover is never really going to hold tape all that well. Don't expect it to feel like you're pulling duct tape off a piece of metal. It's not going to be that. You're going to feel that tack and you're going to know that it's clean, but that's the key part of this. To do that is to put the tape on. And I'll show you that in a minute, but we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And like I said, just put it on the rag. It doesn't take it much. I mean, just not a huge amount. And you want to just start wiping. And like I said, if you're doing this right, I don't know if the camera shows that. You might want to come up a little closer. But if you start to feel that rag grabbing and dragging, you better get off of that, because you're starting to etch into it and it's going to be a problem. You get ready to check to see if you've got it clean. The way I like to do this, you can use painter's tape, but it's so light you really don't notice it anyway. Stick that black duct tape down on there. And when you go to pull it, like I said, it's not going to be super tight, but you can feel the adhesion pull back. When you get to that point that you know it's sticking and you can push the tape down and it stays, you're good to go. All right, so just like the A-pillars, we're going to use the Bulldog adhesion promoter on this as well. And what you'll find out is where this thing is padded. If you don't use this, it'll stick pretty good, but if you ever really, on a corner, push it in really hard or it's a sharp bend, it'll cause the color coat to come off. So we use the adhesion promoter to eliminate some of that, because you can use this and even do the color coat on your urethane armrest and they'll stay. That's why I've got blue collar, and we've drove it a lot and it's staying. So the process works, but same thing, Bulldog adhesion promoter. And I like to do it a little extra on these ends out here, because that's where the thing takes a beating, where you get in and out all the time. So I always felt like a little extra out there, making sure it was doing good on those ends out there. Never hurts. And don't worry about it being blotchy when you spray it, because like I said, this stuff dries down so thin, you'll never see it, especially on that grain when you get the color coat on. It'll never make a difference. A little dab of this stuff goes a long way. Give that about 10 minutes and lay the color to it. One thing I will say too, if you're spraying this thin enough and the way you should be, don't let it worry you if you see some little marks as you go along. It almost would give you the impression like you're getting a fisheye or something going on there. It's not that at all. I don't really know why it does that when it's thin, but as you build it up, it doesn't stay there, and it's totally fine. That doesn't mean it's a problem. It's just the way it looks when you're going thin. So that just about wraps it up for this episode of AMD Garage. Thanks for watching. And like we said at the start, this is a pretty detailed process. There's certain things that have to be done really well in the right order, and you can expect to get a result like this at home in your spare time without having to send it out to a shop. If there's something you haven't seen us do on the channel and you'd like to see that, put it in the comments or send a message over. You can find me at Harrison's Rod Shop. Give me a follow there, at Auto Metal Direct, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. We're going to be doing some things in the very near future. We're going to be showing you why AMD is more than metal. I'm Bryan Harrison. We'll see you on down the road.